Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Cleveland and we're on Tears of the Desert. It's either Tears of the Desert or it's Tears of the Desert. Either way, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what your interpretation of T-E-A-R-S is. You know, it's funny because English is dumb sometimes. Anyway, it's a domination match. We're in Cleveland, and I'll be honest, I struggled with the Cleveland early on, but then I've started to kind of come around to it, and so hopefully you guys are in for a treat of a video. I think you're gonna like it. We're gonna not just stick to high explosive spam. I think this ship really requires you to jump back and forth as necessary to get the most out of it. So we're gonna push forward. We're gonna go to the sea. And right off the bat, we're going to get some promising looks from the enemy team. You'll see what I mean in a moment. There are some telltale signs that the enemy will do, and that will kind of hint you on what the rest of the team is doing even before you ever detect them. What do you mean, Spartan? Well, just watch. In a moment, we're about to spot our first enemy ship. It's a battleship. It's Gneisenauer. And he's going to be turning away from sea to head back over to the rest of the team. Actually, I lied. It's not a Gneisenau, it's Fiji. But you can see he's turning away, heading back towards the rest. The Gneisenau is right next to him. It's Ozclub. But you can see they're turning around going away from us, which means that they don't have any support over here. When people run away from a side, you can generally just fall right ahead and get into your position to, like, attack. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get into this base. Now, we are going to make some mistakes here. So don't get me wrong. Like, I do make some mistakes. But first thing you'll notice is I'm not firing my guns. This guy is 11.5 kilometers from me. He cannot detect me. We know this. However, Fiji comes back around the corner and can absolutely detect me. And he's launched his torpedoes. Which is interesting. Interesting. It's a pretty smart play. Obviously, this Fiji knows what he's doing. He knows that we're on our way, even though I had never been detected. Now, we get a little bit too close to the island here. We bump our way in. You can see I'm not firing my guns because I don't want to get detected. And we're just going to wait until we get to a position where we can jump on the Fiji and protect ourselves from the two battleships on my left side. So we're going to charge forward to the opposite side of this island, hugging the island as close as I can to prevent multiple people from being able to hit me. Preferably. Now, the bad thing about this is I carry all of the cap points as we get our first citadel of the game. But the thing about the Cleveland is, you know, when you're citadeling things in the Cleveland, you're not getting a whole lot of damage for it. However, if a cruiser comes in broadside on and just absolutely begs for it, you can stack up the citadels really quickly. There's our second citadel, and might as well just try again. We'll go ahead and take our third and our fourth citadel, and Kutuzov, would you like another? Yeah, you would? That was kind of you. We'll take 4 and 5, or 5 and 6, and yeah, you know how this goes. Now, obviously, he launches his torpedoes at us. No big deal. We're on fire twice. It's unfortunate because I'm fairly confident. Scraping the paint on the way by. We dodged the torpedo. Wow. It seemed like the guy set a fire on me right at the exact moment that my damage control went away. Which is, it always works that way for me. I don't know what it is. It's like the moment I use my damage con, I'm guaranteed to get another fire. Like, immediately. So, it's frustrating. Which is why a lot of times you'll see me holding on to it until I know I'm not going to take another fire. But, yeah, it's just, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now, we're taking some shots at the Gneisenau because he's an easy target to hit, and we can do so without getting detected. The two battleships behind us have moved up to support. I mean, I'm saying that facetiously, obviously, but, you know, we're in a light cruiser, and we've got more kahunas than the friendly battleships, if you know what I'm saying. So we tried to take a shot at Tirpitz. Obviously, that didn't work out. And then we see Yadachi heading to one of our caps. We need to stop that from being a thing, but it's not as much of a concern for me at the moment. I figure he's got half his health gone. Fiji decides to pop out in front of us, broadside on. He didn't learn his lesson from the Kutuzov, and you can see we're going to go ahead and use that armor piercing to get some shells on him, getting 6 penetrations with the first salvo, and another 6 on the second salvo. These guns are really good. Really, really good. And the armor piercing you can't sleep on. The armor piercing in these light cruisers is fantastic. I'd say probably the best armor piercing out of any light cruiser in the game. And they give the British armor piercing a run for their money. Just due to the fact that they're disgustingly good. We're way, way accurate compared to most of the others. And as you can see, Fiji's running away still. He's lost half his hit points, but we're not going to let him get away too easily. We're just spamming and just absolutely wrecking him. You can see 4 more hits on him. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of shells heading in his direction, but he's taken most of them. Now, he did bounce those that last salvo that I took, that I shot at him. But then I'm going to pull out here and try to get a hold of this Yadachi. There's no reason for him to be here all by his lonesome. We're going to make sure that he doesn't cap our base. We've got our radar on cooldown, which is unfortunate. But, you know, sometimes you just got to roll the dice. And luckily for us, he's put himself in the perfect place to be detected. Hello, Yadachi. And we even shoot him with armor piercing. And it didn't matter. He didn't have any health left. So we go ahead and pop our hydro, just assuming that a broadside Yadachi to me would probably have torpedoes on the way. Fortunately, he does not, and we managed to secure our 2 caps. And now, it's time to start picking on some battleships. Now, this is exactly where you want to find yourself in a light cruiser late in the game. Why? Because these battleships have big guns to worry about, which means a lot of times they're not going to worry about the little guys that are sitting here farming them for damage. And while you think about it, yes, the big guys could easily take them out in 1 or 2 hits if they give them the opportunity. Us little gun ships are actually higher DPM than the battleships. So a lot of times people make the mistake of just assuming that we're just doing nothing out here. We're harmlessly shooting your ship. No, we're blowing holes in your ship, and they're just not as big a hole. So you're not as worried or inclined to believe that we're the one doing all the damage to you, when in fact we are. Those battleships, which he has now turned broadside to, have done basically nothing to him. We've been the one getting all the damage. Now, right now, we're getting a lot of shatters because we're firing that high explosive. But what I'm trying to do is set multiple fires. And we have set multiple fires now. So you'll see I'm getting ready to think about switching over to armor piercing if he gives me a good shot. He's burning in 3 different places. And so we're going to try to get a 4th one on the nose if we can. And I'm keeping an eye on the 2 battleships that are directly out in front, because we've got a second Gneisenauer and an enemy Vanguard. And I definitely don't want to step out in front of the Vanguard. I'll take my chances with the Gneisenauer, but we take down the freaking Gneisenauer that we were firing at before. Look at the damage that we're going to... This is just the front guns, guys. This is just the front guns, and watch the damage that we can rack up per salvo. And these shots are coming in every 6 seconds, right? So, yeah, literally every 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds, we are hitting this guy for, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, sometimes more with just the front guns. So you can see just how quickly your health can disappear, even if you're in a very healthy battleship, when you give these light cruisers a chance to make you miserable. Now here, we're up against a much better armored ship. It's a lot harder to get good, consistent penetrations, though we are doing pretty well. So we go ahead and switch back to HE to try to set some fires on him. And the Vanguard's sailing off towards our destroyer, so it is what it is. Can't fight everybody. And he gets torped by the Yadachi. Big surprise there. Anyway, the Gneisenauer already burned his damage control, as we had already set a fire, so now it's just a matter of time before his damage con goes on cooldown and he gets set with another fire. And there it is. Can we get another fire before we switch to armor piercing? That would be, thank you. Thank you, you're so kind, Gabe. Much appreciated. That really does help. And he's gonna try to dodge these torpedoes here real quick. And it looks like he's gonna be successful. Somehow managing to go in front of the one and behind the rest. I don't know how he did it, but well done. Unfortunately, he's burning from stem to stern, and we're just gonna keep spamming him with high explosive. He's getting some good chunks on us. You can see the Cleveland can't take hits. So if you start shooting its general direction, it's just a matter of time before you take us down. But we have a pretty solid game, getting our first game in the Cleveland of over 100,000 damage, finishing the game with, what, 111,000 damage and 3 kills? Not too shabby for a guy who's mostly a battleship captain, but seems to be playing everything relatively decently lately. Not to toot my own horn. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. 111,000 damage, 3 kills, top of the leaderboard, 2,662 base XP, and a decent payday. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.